Is it time to take your real estate exam? If so, don't stress. I'm going to share some tips that help me pass both the national and the state exam on the first try. Hey there, my name is Chris Henderson, and in this video, I want to share some tips that help me pass both the national and state real estate exam on my first try. For most people, all you'll need to do once you pass your pre-license course is study 2 to 3 hours for 4 to 5 days beforehand, and you got this. That's it. Now, I know this seems too easy, but being diligent and consistent is paramount. Repetition aids learning, so the more you practice, the better prepared you'll be. So first of all, you may have heard the exam is difficult to pass, and the pass rate hovers around 50% across the country, but don't let that stress you out. The thing is, people fail because they're not prepared, but this is preventable if you make a plan and stick to it. Now, when it comes to scheduling your exam, you want to give yourself plenty of time. So I'd suggest scheduling it at least a week to 2 weeks out, which is enough time to study the material and not feel rushed. All right, so this was my study strategy. I did my pre-license course through Real Estate Express, which is an online school. And some of the packages they offered included an exam preparation, which is what I opted for. The exam prep package includes flashcards, practice questions, and practice tests. Depending where you did your pre-license course, there may be something similar. But if not, don't worry. There's great resources out there like Prep Agent and ExamSmart.com, which charge a fee, but also provide flashcards, practice questions, and tests. It's said that those who invest in some kind of practice guide or study material have a higher pass rate, so it's definitely worth your time and money. Now, if you're on a really tight budget, but still need some additional prep before the exam, I would search on YouTube. There's a lot of free videos going over definitions, common law, and math, etc. for you to watch and take notes on. So when you log into your exam prep of choice, you'll see the different practice resources. What I focused on was the practice questions and practice tests. But I know flashcards is a great learning technique for a lot of people, so I would give those a try if you're not sure of your style and see what feels best. What I liked about the practice questions and tests is I could go through a set of questions and take the test. And at the end, it would break down where I needed to improve. So then I could go back to those specific questions, redo them, retake the test, and see if I actually improved. And then just repeat that process until I got it down. If you're worried about the math on the exam, because I know that stresses out a lot of people, it really wasn't that bad. I know it varies, but I only had about 10 or 15 questions on my exam. If you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide, and use a calculator to convert fractions, decimals, and percentages, you should be able to get through most of them. There are some formulas and math word problems, which trips up a lot of people, but the biggest things you'll want to know is how to calculate commission, mortgage interest, and property taxes, all of which will be covered in your exam prep, so if you can get a good grasp on them there, you'll be just fine. So now it's the day of your exam. And depending if it's in the morning or the evening, you might want to get a light study in before, but don't spend too much time on studying and trying to cram in a bunch of material. It's not going to set you up for success. Give yourself some time to take it easy and relax. Get a good night's sleep and maybe even nap if it's an evening test. Eat breakfast or a meal beforehand, and plan to arrive early so you're not stressing out about being late. When taking the test, you have more than enough time for each question, so don't rush and try not to second guess your answers. You've studied hard by now, went through your practice material, so you got this. What I found that worked for me was answering the questions I knew first. Then I worked backwards by eliminating wrong answers, choosing the best possible right answer for ones I was a little unsure of, and skipped any hard questions to come back to at the end. And lastly, don't forget to breathe throughout the test, because the lack of oxygen will actually hinder your ability to remember. And read every word of the question slowly, because they will try to trip you up with small words. So to wrap things up, just understand the exam is really that hard as long as you prepare and study. Get a good night's sleep and a meal beforehand, and then go crush it. If the worst happens and you don't pass, that's okay. Learn from your mistakes and take the exam again. If it's the nerves that got to you, going through it one time will most likely put those at ease the second time around, because you'll know exactly what to expect. At the end of the day, your attitude will have a big impact on your success, so stay positive. So with all that said, we'll wrap up this video. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, I hope you'll consider giving it a like, and leave a comment below to let me know how you did if you've recently taken the exam. And to close this out, let's make every day count. Be more than average, and I'll see you in the next video.